Hey guys, David here, and in this short little video, what I want to talk to you guys about is kind of outsourcing. I got a couple questions lately about outsourcing, and I was talking to a potential coaching client, and they were explaining to me what they're paying to get a actual website built, and going into some details about hiring a programmer and a designer and all this other stuff, and the exorbitant amount of money that they were going to pay for it. And it's kind of like one of those things where you don't know what you don't know. But what happens is if you go out there and you're like, hey, I'm in America, I want to go and hire a programmer. Programmer is going to cost you a lot of money. They're going to cost you a lot, and they're going to, build your website on some exacerbated like timeline. It's going to be really, really long, and a lot longer than you want it. So what I wanted to do is go over some of the sites that I use to actually outsource, and how maybe you can go to them and maybe see if you can get some work done. And I say see, but I know you can. The first one's Upwork. It used to be like Odesk, and I think it was like Freelancer, Elancer, or something like that, or maybe that's a different site. But I know I used to use Odesk, and now Odesk turned into Upwork, and I remember Odesk was talking about buying them or something like that. So if it's not that same site, I'm sorry, but if it is, I knew I was right. So Upwork, pretty much you can get anything done. This is where I go to get most of my jobs done. The cool thing about Upwork is you bid on these jobs, or you put these jobs out and people bid on them, and when they bid on them, you set the timeline. Some quick little tips that I use. I do not do jobs based on work hours. I do it on completion, and then when I do it on completion, I set up deadlines for things to get done, and as those things get done, I release funds. So I don't pay them for hours worked, because when people get paid for hourly stuff, like if you have a job or whatever, like, or when you have employees, they don't work all the time, right? The statistics are like a couple hours a day of actual productivity of actually doing work, right? So most of the time they're not doing work. So it's the same thing when you hired someone like this. Most of the time it's not going to be them doing a whole lot of work. It's going to be billing you for hours and them not doing the work, or them doing the work very slowly to get paid more. So I like to set up little deadlines, and then I release the funds based on those deadlines, so they have kind of an initiative to go out there and work really, really hard and get what it is that you need done. And you can, you can set this up, and you can go through based on, experience and reviews and stuff like that. And that's usually how I go about it. Right off the bat, I click the one that says 5 stars. And let me see if I can get logged in here, just to see if we can get logged in. Alright, so I've hired and spent thousands, maybe tens of thousands of dollars on this site so far. It's an amazing site. So you can go to, just trying to show you guys how I actually search stuff. I know I don't have a job. Alright, so let's go to post a job. I think this is how I would do it. Alright, yeah, here it is. So you can go to previous jobs that you've already set up, but here's the main thing that what you want to look for, or what I look for, right? Preferred qualifications. I add a bunch of stuff here to make sure that they're qualified, like whatever it is that I'm doing. Maybe something that I'm doing needs programming or needs designing, so they have to have like CSS or CCSS or whatever coding language that is. I don't know how to code. Like I said, I hire people to do that. And you can do the estimated duration, which is really cool. Like, I do jobs for a couple days. Like, you have a couple days to do what it is that I need done, because, online things move really fast, and a good idea can get snatched up by somebody else really quickly. Or if you're in a situation where you are kind of in a position where you want to make money faster, right? I don't want to use the word desperate, because that has a negative connotation, but you want to get what it is that you're done. You want to get something done fast. So you would be more inclined to get it done quickly if you could, and since you can't and you have to hire someone, you want them to get it done quickly. I tend to go intermediate to expert. I do not like entry-level stuff as far as their experience level. And then what I also do is I go by how many stars are their ratings. I don't really see it here, but I know you can. It goes by rating. So I only ask for 4 stars and up or 5 stars and up. I ask them to speak English very well because I only speak English. So that's kind of how this works. You just throw your job up there, people start bidding, and you talk to them. Another trick I like to use with this is after I get a couple of good workers or a couple of good guys who are doing good work for me, I like to pay them and hire them outside of Odesk, right? Because they have fees and stuff like that, and maybe I can save some money. So what I do is I hire them. I get their Skype information, and I try to go around Odesk once I get the chance. And I've went over this in, I think, some previous videos, but I haven't done it lately, so I just wanted to kind of give you guys an update on, how I'm using it and, that I am still using it. Another cool little website is Fiverr. I use Fiverr all the time. I get all kinds of stupid, silly little things that would cost me my time if I actually did it. I'm not so great at Photoshop. I'm not so great at Paint. And, I'm not so great at a lot of things. But I'm not so great at either one of those things. So actually designing or, making things like banners and I use another site for banners, but like if you go to my Facebook, if you go to my Facebook, like this right here, I didn't make this. I had this designed, and the same ones on my YouTube, like I had these designed. I'm not really good at making stuff like that, so I didn't do it. I just paid somebody to do it. And the jobs do cost a little bit more than $5 because they do have like add-on services like do you want this fast or do you want it in 6 months or something like that. So I do tend to up the job speed and make sure I have some bells and whistles on some of the things that I get done. But it's really cheap, like $10, $15 per service, and it depends on what you want, obviously. But I've used them for like SEO stuff because I'm not backlinking anything. So I've hired people on here for SEO. I have a couple people who, when I need something boosted or ranked or something, that I can go to them. And that's like Fiverr. Like you can just type in stuff and see what silly stuff that you can get done for $5. You can do voiceover stuff. I've done that for pre-sales videos and sales videos. I've had voiceover work done through here. It's just a cool little site. Another thing that I use, or I started using lately, is $20 banners. So when I roll out with a banner campaign, I tend to want custom banners. I don't use if I'm promoting the affiliate product or something like that, I don't use their banners, right? I try to customize everything towards me and brand it towards me. So what I do is I just go to $20 banners and I have them do the banners. And the cool thing about $20 banners is you can give them ideas or designs and say, I want something like this. So if you see something nice out there or cool out there and you want to, use that and model it or knock it off, you can just take that over to them and have them knock that off or model it. And that's, kind of the sites that I use for all of my outsourcing. The truth is, like the real truth is, like this is 2015 as I'm making this video, and there's absolutely no reason for you to be doing anything that you don't really want to be doing. When we're building our business, like we have to take a step back and think, what's our dream business? What business do we actually want to have? Because the truth of the matter is, whatever business it is that you want can happen tomorrow, right? It can happen in a couple of days, and I know that sounds scary and that doesn't sound real at times because we have these ideas and it takes so long to get them into production and build everything out. But honestly, your dreams and your ambitions and your dream business can happen very, very fast. So once we understand that our dream business can happen very, very fast, what we need to do is find out what our dream business looks like. Because if it doesn't look like what it is that we're creating, maybe we need to take a step back and not create that. We can do all kinds of things online for money or offline for money, right? And because we can do so many things for money and do so much so quickly, we need to understand that we want the life, right? It's a lifestyle that we're trying to lead, right? It's not just about the money. And when I was broke and I was trying to make my first, $20,000 or $50,000 or whatever it was, like that's all I could focus on was I want the money, I want the money, I want the money. But later on, when the actual commissions and you just get cool in the process and you just do the process and you do what it takes to make the money, once you do that and you figure out you can make so much money, you really can make tons and tons of money, you really can go out and build your dream business. what you need to do is make sure that your dream business is what you want it to be. Especially like in the brick and mortar world. I'm part of some like masterminds and stuff like that where we get together as far as business owners and locally, and I've been to some of those meetings and stuff, and actually had a chance to talk to people. Most people hate their businesses, right? Because they bought their jobs, right? They didn't really do a business. They just said, hey, I own my job now. They're not real entrepreneurs, in my opinion. And that's where I see a lot of people in the brick and mortar world, online a lot too. Like, you're doing something that you really don't want to do, but you're just doing it for the money. So you're kind of whoring yourself out. I hope that doesn't bother too many people that I say it like that, but that's really what you're doing. When you're trading time for money or something like that, you're not doing it in a sexual manner, but you are doing it in a manner to where you're trading what it is that you're doing or service that you can provide for money. And if you don't like what it is that you're doing, then you really shouldn't be doing it. Just hire someone to do the stuff that you don't know how to do, like from Upwork or something like that, or things that you don't want to do, more so from Fiverr, and then do what it is that you want to do. Have the business that you want to actually have. And go out there and have fun in building businesses, and then when the money comes, you won't be so miserable. Sometimes we get so attached to making that money and being miserable that we don't know that there is, freedom and happiness out there, and we can still make the money. So I hope that helped you guys out on outsourcing and kind of how to think about this. Like, do the things that you want to do inside of your business. Build your business the way that you want to build it, so that every day when you wake up, you're doing what it is that you love, right? And somebody said that after you do that, you kind of won't feel like you have a job or you're working, if you do the things that you love. But I don't really agree. It's still a little bit of work. So we'll talk soon. I hope that video helped you out, and we'll see you soon.